Hi, my name is Marissa, and I have so much to say, so I finally decided to make a YouTube channel about it. So yeah, I'm just a girl. I'm a photographer. It's my full-time job, and I've really been in a bit of a creative block recently, so I have just been trying to dive a little deeper, do a little self-discovery and whatnot. So I've just been writing again, which is very refreshing because I stopped writing for so long. So I'm just gonna read this to you. This is May 1st, 2026, and at the top of this page, I have a quote that says, "You can't have compassion without seeing compassion." And that was from one of my very dear friends. She was actually my high school English teacher. Love her so much. As I was writing this, or as I was about to write this, I gave her a call and I just let her know how much I appreciated her and her kindness and her words, and how whenever I do something creative like this, or I start reading or writing again, I find that little spark. I think of her because she just helped me so much during such a pivotal moment in my life. And everything was dark and scary, as it usually is as a teenager, but in some cases it's a little more intense than others, I'll admit. But she was always kind with me. Always kind with me. So I have this little quote. It says, "You can't have compassion without seeing compassion." And I love her. If you're seeing this, I love you. Okay. Something about the way this creek is moving right now feels freeing. The water doesn't have to ask permission. It just starts flowing freely against the rock, steadfast and certain. Two things that I don't often associate with my own identity. Far more often than I would like to admit, I feel like that one kitten Brianna and I brought home from the gas station in like 2011. I think to this day her mom still thinks it was a random kitten from right outside of her house, and not one that Bri and I brought home from our 2-mile quest to the gas station. Candy made us put it back outside, and the guilt of that genuinely almost ate me alive. We just wanted to love, care, and nurture that sweet little baby, but unfortunately all we did was uproot that baby's life, take it from its family, and drop it in a completely new environment, forcing it to fend for itself. I would like to note, we were 8 years old, and I am sure that we have all done things that we are not necessarily proud of in our youth. I can confidently say that I am not proud of most of my actions from before the age of 17. I am also not 100% certain on my life decisions from after the age of 17. But I can confidently say that I used to be so much worse, much less kind. I was so full of anger and rage and feelings that I never knew how to carry. Everything was so heavy, and I was so lost, directionless, and not sure I was even going to make it to my 18th birthday. At this point in my life, drinking had consumed many of my days as a teenager. I would go to Westminster with Caitlin in Nick's little college apartment every day, and it was about an hour drive from my high school. We would drink all night and not show up to school until after lunch most days. It feels kind of wild to think about my main emotion being anger and my main beverage being Smirnoff Ice. Screwdriver, to be specific. Every now and then, it creeps back into my life when I'm least expecting it. I find stress and cortisol and a little bit of adrenaline in every small crevice. I notice it like an old friend, but never with any fond memories or emotion. It's like that one friend where you swear if you do more, maybe they will do something. Maybe they will show up at all. I greet fear like a dear friend who would never treat me the way that I treated them. Anyways, I often feel like that poor kitten Bri and I brought in, and I'm trying to do my best with what I have, but I can't help but always return to the concept of my whole existence being uprooted when I was 13 years old, leaving everything behind, everything I had ever known, and being dropped into the complete unknown, being Texas. I'm being told to just figure it out. Granted, everything I had known up to that point wasn't anything to write home about necessarily. It was adverse, to say the least. It was filled with fear and uncertainty almost every day of my life. But it was still home. It was still familiar. And I was still in the mountains. I was near the evergreens and near the glacier water that is so cold that I cannot feel my body. But simultaneously, it makes me feel more present in my body than anything else. Being so cold forces me to appreciate the warmth even more. Even the water back home in Washington makes me reflect. I swear, I could even look at the dirt in Washington and have a groundbreaking revelation that profoundly impacts my growth and outlook on my life and my journey as a whole as well. The rocks on the beach would convince me that everything I have ever survived was worth it, and that it had meaning, because without those events, no matter how painful, I couldn't have been there in that exact moment on that beach with those rocks to appreciate the cold, crisp, salty Pacific Northwest air in my lungs. It would convince me to be grateful for all of this ache, because I can breathe so clearly now, standing on this beach. I can sit down all of this weight and hurt and let the Pacific Ocean take it from here. I can go sit in the water in this hurt, but I do not have to carry it with me anymore. I feel lighter as it floats away from me, but I can't help but wonder if I'll miss it. Who am I without all of this hurt? Who even is Marissa? For so long, that's all I was. And in this very moment, I start to panic when I start to release all of this ache and anger. It feels like I'm betraying someone right now. Things finally start to feel in alignment. All is well, my business is thriving, my kids are happy, my bills are paid, I am traveling the world, following my dreams, living a life I genuinely could not even fathom. Life is good, genuinely. But when everything gets good, I am abruptly reminded of my fear of tsunamis. I wake up gasping for air in the middle of the night as I am reminded of everything I have worked through and released into the sea. It feels like I have a bounty on my back some days, and like I'm being hunted for sport. And that And I should not get too comfortable, because at any moment now, all of the water and fear and worries, accompanied by past programming and patterns, could come rushing back into my house at any given moment. I fear I am never safe from the water, even though I live in the middle of the United States. I live in Missouri. And instead of prepping for tornadoes like I should be, I am waterproofing every crevice of my house. My mom comes over and says it feels far too familiar over at my house, but she can't quite explain why. She says I look tense, but that I don't need to be scared anymore. That I'm so separate from everything, and the water cannot reach me now, but even if it could, now I know how to swim. She stated that I taught her how to swim too. It feels profound in that moment, but I shake my head and say through a small smile, yeah, but I need to do this just in case. She stopped in her tracks, looks me in my eyes and says, Marissa, this has never been your weight to carry. You can set it down now, and I am so sorry. You didn't deserve this, and neither did I, but I know better now, and you know better now. Your kids are safe, and you are safe. Your house is as peaceful as you make it. Open your doors, let light in, and let love visit you, please. The water won't come along with it. The water will not come back along with everything you released into it. I promise it'll be okay. Yeah, okay. That's all. That's all I got. Okay. What did the YouTubers say? Like, comment, subscribe. If you ever need a little hope, a little extra something here and there, I'm here. I got you. We got this. Okay. Bye.